First in the spotlight tonight is the Radio 5 Live presenter Phil Williams on the Dirty Harry films. Next, the comedian John Robbins. He'll be answering questions on Queen. Lydia Bright from The Only Way is Essex takes as her subject the television series Sex and the City. And the former Liberal Democrat leader Tim Farron on Blackburn Rovers. Hello and welcome to Celebrity Mastermind with me, John Humphreys, and four people who aren't getting paid to be here. It goes to charity, their fee, but are hoping they will leave with something, the honour of being able to claim the Celebrity Mastermind title. And all they have to do is answer lots of questions correctly. 90 seconds worth of questions on their specialist subject, 2 minutes of general knowledge. So let's ask our first contender to join us, please. And your name is?
Phil Williams.
Your chosen charity?
Is Different Strokes.
And your chosen subject?
The Dirty Harry films.
The Dirty Harry films in 90 seconds, starting now. Which was the only one of the 5 Dirty Harry films that was directed by Clint Eastwood?
Sudden Impact.
Yep. In Dirty Harry, Harry Callahan pursues a vicious serial killer who's terrorising San Francisco. What pseudonym does the killer use in his communications with the city authorities?
Scorpio.
Yep. Callahan sees an army demonstration of what type of handheld rocket in The Enforcer?
Pass.
Who plays the artist and revenge killer Jennifer Spencer in Sudden Impact?
Sondra Locke.
Yep. What is the name of the terrorist group in The Enforcer who seize the mayor and hold him to ransom?
The People's Revolutionary Strike Force.
Yep. Which island do terrorists take the mayor to? He's rescued by Callahan and his partner Kate Moore.
Alcatraz.
Yes. In Dirty Harry, what calibre of Magnum handgun is Callahan pointing at a bank robber when he says to him, you've got to ask yourself one question, do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
It's a .44 Magnum.
It is. In The Dead Pool, the rock musician Johnny Squares is working on a Peter Swan film when he's found dead in his trailer. What's the film called?
Hotel Satan.
Yep. Callahan prevents an attempt to hijack an aircraft in Magnum Force. To which airline does the aircraft belong?
American.
Sovereign. In Sudden Impact, Callahan confronts a robber who's holding a waitress hostage in the Acorn Cafe and delivers a famous line that dares him to use his weapon. What's the line?
Go ahead, make my day.
Yes. In Dirty Harry, Callahan is ordered to work with a partner who was later shot and wounded by Scorpio. Which partner?
Gonzalez.
Yes, Chica Gonzalez. In The Enforcer, Callahan drives a car through the front window of a liquor store and, as a punishment for the damage he's caused, he is reassigned from homicide to which department?
Human Resources.
Yes, or personnel, as they used to call it in those days, but human resources in modern language. Phil, you had one pass. Law's rocket was the handheld rocket in The Enforcer. You've scored, though, 10 points.
Thank you.
And our next contender, please. And your name is?
John Robbins.
Your chosen charity?
Standing Together Against Domestic Violence.
And your chosen subject?
Queen.
Queen. In 90 seconds, here we go. In April 1974, Queen reached the top 10 in the UK singles chart for the first time. With what song?
Seven Seas of Rhye.
Yep. Who co-produced a number of Queen's early studio albums, including Sheer Heart Attack?
Roy Thomas Baker.
Yes. Queen embarked on a major tour of America at the beginning of 1977. At some of the gigs, they were supported by which Irish rock band?
Pass.
Which song by Roger Taylor has a video inspired by the Fritz Lang sci-fi film Metropolis and gave the band a #2 single in 1984?
Radio Gaga.
Yep, the waistcoat worn by Freddie Mercury in the video of These Are the Days of Our Lives features painted images of what animals?
Cats.
Yes. What's the name of the American Idol finalist who appeared as the lead vocalist with Queen at the MTV European Music Awards in 2011 and has since toured internationally with the band?
Adam Lambert.
Yep. Who directed the video for Bohemian Rhapsody? It was first shown on Top of the Pops in November 1975, is often regarded as the first true rock video.
David Russell?
No, Bruce Gowers. Which John Deacon song on the Night at the Opera album was a top 10 hit in the UK in 1976?
You're My Best Friend.
Yes. Songs from the album A Kind of Magic were used on the soundtrack of a 1986 film starring Sean Connery and Christopher Lambert. Which film?
Highlander.
Yes. What's the final track on the album A Night at the Opera?
God Save the Queen.
Yep. Freddie Mercury's final live performance with Queen was as part of a night of summer magic in '86 at which festival venue?
Nebworth.
Yep. A tribute concert was held at Wembley Stadium in '92 following the death of Mercury, and proceeds went to an AIDS charity created by the band. Which charity?
The Mercury Phoenix Trust.
The Mercury Phoenix Trust it was. You had one pass. They were supported by an Irish rock band called...
Thin Lizzy.
Thin Lizzy.
Thin
Exactly.
Lizzy.
It's much easier when it's all over, isn't it? Thin Lizzy. But, John, you've got 10 points as well.
Thank you very much.
And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Lydia Bright.
Your chosen charity?
Bernardo's.
And your chosen subject?
Sex and the City.
Sex and the City. Here we go. Who was the only character, apart from Carrie, Miranda, Charlotte and Samantha, to appear in the pilot episode and in the series finale, An American Girl in Paris, Part 2?
Skipper.
Mr. Big. What is Steve's job when Miranda first meets him in season 2?
Bartender.
Yep, in Don't Ask, Don't Tell, Miranda realises at a speed dating event that her career as a lawyer is putting men off. What job does she then pretend to have?
Air hostess.
Yep. What is the name of Miranda's housekeeper come nanny who joined the cast in season 3?
Magda.
Yep. Who plays Stanford's friend Jared in season 1 and Carrie's boyfriend Vaughan Weisel in the season 2 episode Shortcomings?
Pass.
In A Woman's Right to Shoes, Carrie's at a party when her shoes are stolen by one of the guests. What type of party was it?
Anniversary.
No, it's a baby shower. In The Big Journey, Carrie is at her book launch in San Francisco when she learns that she is the support act for a dog that's very popular on the internet. What's the dog's name?
Pass.
The main costume designer for all 6 seasons of Sex and the City won an Emmy Award and received 4 other nominations for Best Costume Design for her work on the series. Who is she?
Patricia Field.
Yep. In the series 6, episode 1, Carrie reckons that the ladders made of knives in the 24-hour performance art installation are there to stop the artist from doing what?
Walk-in.
Running out for a snack. What is the first name of Carrie's love rival, who is the eponymous woman in the episode Attack of the 5'10" Woman?
Natasha.
Yes. What does Charlotte give to Carrie to use as a down payment on her apartment?
Her ring.
Yes, her ring, her Tiffany engagement
Yes.
ring, to be precise. You had a couple of passes. The name of that dog, very popular on the internet, was Mr. Winkle.
Right.
Yep. And Stamford's friend Jared in season 1 was played by Justin Theroux.
Right.
You have scored 6 points. And our final contender, please. And your name is?
Tim Farron.
Your chosen charity.
He's Manor House in Kendal.
And your chosen subject.
Blackburn Rovers, 1990 to 2000.
Blackburn Rovers in 90 seconds. Here we go. Who took over Rovers in January 1991? He transformed the club's fortunes and they went on to be the Premiership champions in the 94 to 95 season.
Jack Walker.
Yep. In what position did Rovers finish in the second division in the 1991-92 season? They won the playoffs and were promoted to the Premier League.
6th.
Yep. David Batty and Graham Lasso had a fight on the pitch 4 minutes into an away match in the Champions League in November 95. Who were Rovers' opponents?
Spartak Moscow.
Yes, between 94 and 96, which striker formed a prolific partnership with Alan Shearer, known as the SAS?
Chris Sutton.
Yep. Rovers drew 0-0 with which team in their penultimate game of the 98 to 99 season and were relegated from the Premiership?
Manchester United.
Yep. How many points behind the champions Manchester United did Rovers finish at the end of the 93-94 season when they were the runners-up?
8.
Yep. Which team did Rovers beat 5-2 on the 12th of October 91 in Kenny Dalglish's first match in charge?
Plymouth Argyle.
Yes, who had the longest of several spells as the club's caretaker manager when he took over from Ray Harford in October 96.
Tony Parks.
Yes, who was shown a red card within minutes of making his Rovers debut against Everton in March 96.
Gary Flitcroft.
Yep. Which team did Manchester United fail to beat in the last game of the 94-95 season? It meant that Rovers were the champions.
West Ham United.
Yes, who did Rovers sign from Southampton for a club record fee of over £7 million in June 98?
Kevin Davis.
Correct. Which Swedish part-timers beat Rovers 3-2 on aggregate in the first round of the UEFA Cup in September 94?
Trelleborg.
Yes. Which club stalwart returned to Rovers as a coach under Ray Harford? He remained in the post under Roy Hodgson, but left when Brian Kidd took over.
Derek Fazakali.
Yes. Wow, no passes. You got them all right. 13 points. Well, a very high-scoring first round. Let's have a look at all of those scores. In fourth place, 6 points, Lydia. Joint second place, 10 points apiece. Phil and John, first place, 13 points. Tim. So it is the general knowledge round now, and if there's a tie at the end of the round, then the number of passes is taken into account, and the person with the fewer passes is the winner. So let's get on with it and ask Lydia to join us again, please. And Lydia, you're obviously famous, very famous, for being in The Only Way is Essex. What do you think they saw in you?
I just had a lot of friends that were on the show and an ex-boyfriend at the time, and part of The Only Way is Essex is all about having drama and relationship woos, so I thought that they think that it was a good idea to bring me on board. And
Well, because you had lots of relationships and lots
only one relationship, but it was
only-
very up and down, so it made great TV. The nation saw it for many years. Thank you for bearing with me, because it was up and down for a very long time.
Right. Must have been embarrassing at times. I mean, what's the silliest thing you've ever said?
I
On
don't know
telly,
about
I mean.
the silliest thing that I ever said, but I know the silliest
Go
thing
on.
that I ever did. I got a pet pig for Christmas, which is silly in itself.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we all got encouraged, and I once painted my pig's toes. I mean, that's a pretty silly thing to do, right?
I think I'm beginning to see why you got the job, yeah. Right, you've got 6 points. You now have 2 minutes of questions on general knowledge. So
Right,
let's see
go.
how you do with this lot. Here we
Okay.
go. In Greek mythology, the people of a city took in a wooden horse left for them by the besieging Greek army. Which city?
Athens.
Troy. Which sea, part of the Atlantic, separates the east coast of Britain from Norway?
The Pacific.
The North Sea. Which fashion designer, along with Malcolm McLaren, created clothes as part of the punk movement that sold at their shop on the King's Road in London called Seditionaries?
Vivienne Westwood.
Yes, the dried female flower clusters of the climbing plant Humulus lupulus are very important to giving beer its bitter flavour. They're better known by what name?
Hydrangeas.
Hops. In what 2016 film does the linguistics professor Louise Banks, played by Amy Adams, have to interpret the language of the alien visitors when 12 mysterious spacecraft appear across the globe?
Oh, Alien.
Arrival. Buicks and Whooper, which are winter visitors to Britain, and the Mute, which is with us all year round, a species of a large water bird. Which bird?
Flamingo.
Swan. Under what name did the New Zealand-born singer Ella Yellich O'Connor have a UK #1 hit with Royals in 2013?
Oh, I've never heard of her. Pass.
It's two of us. Who came third in his final individual 100 metres race at the World Athletics Championship in August 2017? The race was won by Justin Gatlin.
Mo Farah.
Usain Bolt.
Oh, gosh.
Honshu is the largest of the 4 main islands that make up which Asian country?
Indonesia.
Japan. What name is given to an inflammation of the membrane that covers the inner eyelid and the white of the eye? It's characterised by itching and discharge.
Conjunctivitis.
Yes. How many pips make up the BBC hourly time signal?
Pass.
Take a guess.
I don't know what even the question means.
All right, then we'll take it as a pass. In painting, the primary colours are the 3 pigments that every other shade or hue can be made from. Red and blue are 2. What is the third?
Green.
Yellow. In Rossini's opera, Figaro is a barber in which Spanish city? Go on. Spanish city. Any Spanish city.
Madrid.
No.
No.
No. Seville.
Oh, I didn't do very well at that.
Well,
did I?
you've got a couple of points, but your 2 passes, the pips, they go beep, 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 and there are 6 of them. 6
Right.
pips on
Okay.
Radio 4. And that singer, of whom I'd never heard either anyway, Ellie Yellich O'Connor, is known as Lord.
OK.
Yeah. You have now, Lydia, 8 points.
Thank you.
And now Phil again, please. Phil, now then, 5 Live. We do the same job, basically. We talk for a few hours.
We do.
You know, on a current affairs programme. The difference is that you do yours when people are going to bed. I do mine when they're getting up. What do
Yeah.
you think is the difference?
About 3 million listeners, John, in your favour, I think. No, I tend to find, because I've done breakfast as well, I tend to find that in the evening it's a bit more of a relaxed environment. People aren't thinking, what have I got to do for today? They've done, the day's done, and they're kind of winding down, and so the chat feels a bit more intimate and you can take a lot more time over it. Yeah. So it's just a bit more of a relaxed environment until someone swears, obviously.
We seldom get that from politicians.
From politicians, no.
They may think it. I'm looking across at Tim Farron over there, who's listening. But he'd never swear. Anyway, we'll be talking.
I think he thinks you're the Dirty Harry of the Today.
Let's see. Right, Phil, you've got 10 points. So, let's see how you do with your general knowledge. 2 minutes coming up now. What is the common three-letter word for the shell that encases peas?
Pod.
Yep. Who gained instant notoriety for her performance as the manipulative author Catherine Trammell in the 1992 film Basic Instinct?
Glenn Close.
Sharon Stone. Which London football ground takes its name from a hunting lodge built in 1780? It burned down in 1888. The ground was built on the derelict site.
Craven Cottage?
Yes. Which Apollo mission sent the widely misquoted message to Mission Control, OK, Houston, we've had a problem here?
Apollo 9.
13. Brown and mountain are the two species found in Britain of an animal that closely resembles a rabbit but has longer ears and hind legs. What animal?
Dog.
Hare. In what country is Mount Kilimanjaro, Africa's highest mountain?
Pass.
What popular word by Vivaldi, written in the 1720s, consists of 4 concerti called Spring, Summer, Autumn and Winter?
4 Seasons.
Yep. Which American writer won his first Pulitzer Prize for drama with the play A Streetcar Named Desire?
Tennessee Williams.
Yes. Who played the bar owner Sam Malone in the American television comedy series Cheers?
Ted Danson.
Yep. In the Second World War, when French generals said that England would have her neck wrung like a chicken if she fought alone against Germany, who replied, some chicken, some neck?
Pass.
Which 1865 children's story is an extension of a tale told by the author to Alice Liddell and her sisters in a rowing boat on the Thames on their way to a picnic?
Alice in Wonderland?
Yep. Giotto was appointed architect to an Italian city in 1334 and began work on the celebrated Campanile. Which city?
Rome.
Florence. Which of the 12 apostles is the patron saint of both Scotland and Russia?
Andrew.
Yes. The port of Fray Bentos in Uruguay became synonymous with a type of tinned meat after a large-scale processing plant was opened there in the 1860s. What meat?
Spam.
Corned beef. In what London place of worship is the tomb of the unknown warrior whose body was brought back from France and buried there on the 11th of November 1920?
Pass.
With which theme song from the Bond film The Spy Who Loved Me did Carly Simon have a top 10 hit in 1977?
Nobody does it better.
Nobody does it better is exactly right. You had 3 passes, Phil. Westminster Abbey is that London place of worship, tomb of the unknown warrior. Sir Winston Churchill said some chicken, some neck. And Tanzania is where Mount Kilimanjaro is. You have a total now, Phil, of 18 points. And now, John, again, please. And, John, you have the great honour of having won the Edinburgh Award, the Edinburgh Festival.
Yes.
If you won an award for writing a great book or a piece of music or whatever it was, it would be there forever. You do a stand-up routine, you win an award for it, and it's gone.
You're right, and I think a lot of stand-ups are probably quite jealous of musicians in that you can refine and refine and refine, and then suddenly you've got this album and you can say, well, that's what it is forever. But I think that's what keeps you writing, because you're constantly chasing that new thing, and also you need new material for your career to carry on, because people are happy to go and see musicians do their hits, but once you've heard a joke, something's lost from the joke.
And are you rewriting all the time?
There's lots of tweaking and editing, and then obviously in the moment it changes and you retell it and you find a new way, and that's what's exciting about it.
Yeah. Anyway, well done. You've got 10 points in the bag. So you've got to score more than 18 as it stands. Let's see how you do. Here we go. 2 minutes of general knowledge. What dessert is known in Italy as gelato, a word that means frozen?
Ice cream.
Yep. Which brothers, known as Groucho, Chico and Harpo, were the stars of the films A Night at the Opera and Duck Soup?
Marx Brothers.
Yep. What name is given to a straight line from one side of a circle to the other that passes through its centre?
Diameter.
Yes. What machine, now a common sight on the High Street, was first installed at a branch of Barclays Bank in Enfield in 1967?
Cash machine.
Yep. Which Formula Formula One racing driver who was the subject of a 2010 biopic had the surname Da Silva, but used his mother's maiden name because Da Silva is a very common surname in Brazil?
Ayrton Senna.
Yes. Which song by the Puerto Rican pop singer Luis Fonsi, featuring Justin Bieber and the Puerto Rican rapper Daddy Yankee, topped the UK singles charts in May 2017?
I've no idea, pass.
What six-letter slang term do Australians use after the word fair to mean the genuine article?
Dinkum.
Yeah. What is the title of the lateral thinking television quiz show presented by Victoria Coren Mitchell?
Only Connect.
Yes. Germany's invasion of which country in August 1914 brought Britain into the First World War?
Poland.
Belgium. Which Lennon and McCartney song includes the French lyric "Sont les mots qui vont très bien ensemble"?
Pass.
What is the alcoholic ingredient of a mojito cocktail together with soda water, lime juice, sugar and mint leaves?
Rum.
Yep. Which seabird that has a large multicoloured triangular beak is also known as the sea parrot or bottlenose?
Puffin.
Yes. Which major seaport is on the Gulf of Lion, an arm of the Mediterranean near the mouth of the River Rhone?
Pass.
What name is given to the soft, lustrous fibre produced by caterpillars of certain species of the genus Bombyx that principally feed on mulberry leaves?
Silk.
Yes. Part 2 of an oratorio by Handel is brought to a close by the Hallelujah Chorus. Which oratorio?
Water music.
The Messiah. What is the title of Stella Gibbons' novel that tells of a visit by Flora Post to her relatives in rural Sussex? It was filmed for television and starred Kate Beckinsale and Rufus Sewell, among others.
Pass.
Oh, I can tell you because you're out of time. Cold Comfort Farm. You had 4 passes altogether. Marseille was that major seaport, arm of the Mediterranean. Michel, Sont les mots qui, and all that sort of stuff. And Despacito was the name of that song by the Puerto Rican pop singer, but not normally either.
There you go.
Anyway, you've got 20 points.
Thank you very much.
And finally, Tim again, please. And Tim, a couple of years as leader of the Liberal Democrats. Is it possible to be normal and be a leader of a political party these days? Nothing personal in that question, by the way.
We're all abnormal.
Genuine inquiry.
I mean, best advice I ever got given, which was by Charles Kennedy, is to just be yourself. But if you choose a life in politics, you're not normal.
I remember we did an interview in the very early days, and I asked you about your religion and what effect it had on you. And people thought that it was outrageous that you actually had religious views. Either that, or I was being incredibly intrusive asking you the question.
It's just a weird thing. I think if you're in the States, you have to pretend you have a faith in order to be taken seriously as a politician. In this country, you have to pretend you haven't got one. And I think probably both cases are wrong.
Yeah. So do you regret having talked about your faith? Or, I mean, because who knows? But if you pushed it to one side entirely and you know, played it down or whatever, could have made a difference?
So I probably would have been more successful, and I don't regret it.
But you and I both, and everybody in this audience, can think of a very large number of politicians that have been all those things that you didn't want to be and have been highly successful.
Ambition isn't the most important thing in the world. As we found out earlier, Blackburn Rovers is.
And you can look yourself in the mirror in the morning.
Indeed.
It matters, doesn't it? Right, you have 13 points already. 20 is the score to beat. Here we go. Which author created the detectives Tommy and Tuppence, Miss Marple and Hercule Poirot?
Agatha Christie.
Yep, in the 1990 film Home Alone, Kevin McAllister is accidentally left behind when his family goes on a Christmas holiday to Paris. Which actor plays Kevin?
Macaulay Culkin.
Yep. What characteristic common to most marsupials does the female numbat or banded anteater lack?
Pass.
Jimmy Anderson dismissed Craig Brathwaite in the second innings of the third test against the West Indies in 2017 to become the first English bowler to take how many test wickets?
500.
Yes. Who reached #1 in the charts in 1988 with One Moment in Time?
Whitney Houston.
Yes. What Latin term is used for the stiffening of a corpse that sets in after death?
Rigor mortis.
Yep. Which John Steinbeck novel, published in 1939 and set during the Great Depression, traces the migration of the Joad family from the Oklahoma Dust Bowl to California?
Grapes of Wrath.
Yep. In what country was Hitler born? In March 1938, he annexed it in the Anschluss, a German word that means union.
Austria.
Yes, the village of Turville in Buckinghamshire was used for the filming of a television sitcom starring Dawn French as Geraldine Granger. Which series?
Vicar of Dibley.
Yep. In which Lloyd Webber musical does a shy little steam engine called Rusty beat the flashy diesel greaseball in a race?
Pass.
How many panels are hinged together to form a single painting or carving, a work of art known as a triptych?
3.
Yep. Which saint, well known for his love of animals, was born in Assisi in about 1181?
St Francis.
Yes. Which Canadian city's skyline is dominated by the 1,815-foot high CN Tower? It was the world's highest freestanding building till 2007.
Toronto.
Yep. What French word that literally means burnt is used to refer to a dish with a crisp coating of caramelised sugar?
Flambé.
Brûlé. Which composer, famous for his piano music, was born near Warsaw in 1810 and died in Paris in 1849?
Pass.
The works of which controversial English playwright include Entertaining Mr. Sloane and Loot?
Oscar Wilde.
Joe Orton. In which pastime might a gaff and a keep net be used?
Pass.
Well, I can tell you that one, and you'll be cross with yourself because it's fishing.
Ah.
That was one of your passes. Chopin was the composer. Starlight Express was the Lloyd Webber musical. A pouch is what the numbat or the banded anteater... Yes, I know, amazing. One didn't know that. Tim, you did it. 24 points. So there we are, a clear winner. Let's have a look at all the scores. In fourth place, 8 points. Lydia, third place, 18 points. Phil, second place, 20 points. John, first place, 24 points. Tim. Tim. Thank you, Phil. Congratulations.
I knew to win something eventually.
In terms of becoming Prime Minister, I mean, how much of a compensation is that?
Oh, a massive compensation. Yes, no, it doesn't matter at all now.
Doesn't matter.
Almost as good as winning the Premier League in '95.
Well done, Tim. Now, you don't have to be a celebrity to take part in the regular Mastermind programme. If you would like to appear in the next series on BBC Two, then visit us online at bbc.co.uk/mastermind, and you can follow us on Twitter at Mastermind Quiz. Either way, do join us again next time for more Masterminds. And thanks for watching. Goodbye. Well done, Tim.